Don't be surprised when people come to China and they go back home with British accents. I was supposed to have recorded this video like yesterday, but let's just say I ran into a bit of a depressing moment because I had gotten every single equipment after I had done my daily temperature check. I set it up, I wrote down my script, and every single time that I tried to use a condenser mic, I would always get this irritating waterfall sound. Now, this has never happened before because this is like the equipment that I use every single time. And I use a Samsung C01 studio condenser. And I use is it a Behringer sound card. And the best video content that you could ever make needs to have like the best sound ever. But then I kept getting this residual irritating sound like waterfall, rain, and I didn't know what was going on with my equipment. I was supposed to have recorded this around 9 a.m. in the morning, and I started going through YouTube video after YouTube video after YouTube video. I started searching online what happens when you're getting this buzzing sound, and I didn't even know the keywords to use, whether it's waterfall or whether it's to use buzzing sound or just to use noise, because then if you're not specific with what you're looking for, the results that you might not get might not be what you intended to search for. Video after video, and they all proved to be unfruitful, which was getting kind of depressing. So I had to like dismantle the mic, and when it comes to me and dismantling things, like I've been doing it for quite a while and I'm pretty much used to it now. So I had to dismantle the mic like from start, and I found out that a few things were broken on the inside, but then after a few reparations, it still wasn't working. I was stuck, and the whole day I had nothing to do. Wow, I never knew I would get to this point. Now, so I had to take back to the person who uses it on a daily basis, and he said, well, I also experienced this problem then, but then after you had used it and brought it back, it's like the problem had gone. And that's the reason why I asked you was, were you experiencing any residual sounds? And you said, no, it's just working perfectly. And I started using it there and then. But then this problem has occurred before. So until an angel came from nowhere, I'll call him an angel. If he sees this video, he's going to point it out. So he came from nowhere and he says, when you're experiencing such a problem, usually there's something wrong with the wiring. So first of all, he pissed me off because then he just came and he started talking. He's like raising his voice and he wants to be on top of all of us, like we don't know what we're doing. But it turns out he knows his stuff, and he pulled a few strings and he opened up the ends of the wires, and turns out one of the wires was broken. I'm like, now that I know the problem, wires, cables, PCs, electronics, gadgets, that's my forte. Like, this is nothing for me. So I rushed back to my room, I set up everything, and we're talking now, that would have been around 4 p.m. So I sat down, clicked record, synced the sound, and nothing. No energy, no zeal, no morale, nothing. Literally nothing. I was deflated. I had no energy. I even tried to make myself feel excited. I'm like, hey guys, welcome to my... I was blank. I switched off everything around 5 p.m. Today, YouTube, you just have to... It's just not our day. Let's just do something else. Like, let's just sleep. Like, after all, my body's in pain after playing football the previous night. If you use a condenser mic and you use a sound card, that is a quick tip that you should follow. It's really gonna help you. Like, if your equipment ain't working right, start with the wiring. If you can change the cables, and then before you start opening up the equipment itself, it will save you a huge amount of time. So start with the cables. If you have spare cables, you can swap them out, try them, and see if they work perfectly for you. So mine was a useless cable problem. So getting into this video, surface level introduction as usual. My name is Akambani KK Katumbo, and I make YouTube content like this. If you've not subscribed to this channel, and if it's your first time, subscribe down below and don't miss out. I usually make content on a weekly basis, but then I've been caught up with my graduation. It just happens to be that I'll be graduating in the next 2 weeks, so my content may be a bit fluctuational, but I will try to make content like this when I do have time. So subscribe and don't miss out. Subscribe and don't miss out. Leave a comment down below and I'll definitely get back to you. I usually reply to my comments because it's fun reading the reviews that people give, even though once in a while you get some trolls here and there, but then it's fun when you see how you get to interact with people on a video that you can relate to on a daily basis. This week I promised you that I was going to tell you about my graduation design, and a lot of people are following me on Instagram saying I am eager to see this video, like I can't wait, just give me a quick insight, like what's going on, what will make you say that you're not going to be graduating this semester, like what story is there? And I was like, if you really want to know what's going on, like you just have to wait like everybody else. So I was supposed to make this video like the previous week, but then the previous week I got caught up with the graduation design and I started making a few progress here and there, and somehow I moved a little bit. I'm not done yet. I had done with the first calculations using the software, but then I sent it to my supervisor and now she's like doing a review. So, but then next week is going to be like a preparation for my graduation, because we'll be graduating in like 2 weeks time. But the week after that or next week, if I'm able to find at least some time, I will make a video. This video is going to be a debut for my sister. She was receiving some hate because she's smart, and she was called someone with no market because she usually takes her time during break time or lunch time to go through her studies, and somehow she used to make other students feel dumb, not because she would tell them they're dumb, but because she would be studying whilst they're playing. So I've personally gone through this in most of the schools that I've gone to. Like, if you don't know me, I'm competitive by nature, and usually it doesn't really attract a lot of attention to people, especially those who cannot live up to their competition level that you're in. A lot of things that you do, even when you're doing them, are good and you're not affecting anyone, somehow you're still gonna get haters out there who don't feel like they can match up to the levels that you've set for yourself. So they would prefer you step down so that you'd be at the same level in stupidity. If my sister, you saying this, I'll personally make a video debuted to you. That's how much I love you. Getting into this video, I am a civil engineer and I chose to study in China because I thought I would get better opportunities as compared to my countries. And if you look at my country universities, they would be seasonal. One day they are open, the other day they are closed. It's like you wouldn't know. You would be taking a 3 years course in 7 years. You would literally be converted into a doctor. So I decided to apply abroad, and I was accepted in China. Well, my friend came up with the idea. I would prefer to tell you that in another video. So first thing that I got for the first month was, it was depressing. Expectation versus reality when it comes to you receiving these lectures or you being taught, it just didn't match up. Usually I thought this was going to be work after work. It's going to be assignment after assignment. You're going to be going into project after project, and I came into people who were like, they're having night classes and learning English.
Dorad cramp, fix max, synthesizer, bibixin.
This wasn't something that I even pictured in my mind, like there's going to be a communication barrier. Alright, even as much as there's going to be a communication barrier, like it's China, people don't speak English, but I expected like at least the supervisors themselves or the professors or the teachers to at least have some ground of English, but that wasn't the case. Class after class, you would go there and you would literally get nothing. And this is something that people wouldn't admit who are studying abroad because of their pride. But then I'm going to tell you that if you're studying in a country whose first language ain't English, you've officially enrolled into YouTube University. That's what everybody does. Every single class after you're done, you literally have to go to YouTube and search. When you go into classes, like whatever teacher you have, they're just going to be reading from a pamphlet, a PPT, a slide after slide, just pure reading, not teaching, because they can't communicate to you fluently. 3 years went on like this. Quite alright, you might have 1 or 2 teachers who are perfect there, and then they would give you the materials you need. Their English would be up to standards, but most of them that you would get, you wouldn't even ask a question, because the moment you even try to ask, it's like you've already confused them. They don't know what to reply or how to respond. It's like they just came and they had translated a few English words that they would use. It's either okay, fine, yes. You would be seated in class all night daydreaming, PUBG, and wait till class is done. Then YouTube University commences. Now, imagine spending 3 years, no internship, no special lab work, no exposure to sites as you're supposed to. Quite alright, you'd visit a site, but then why do I have to learn Chinese for me to have to visit these sites? Because if I really wanted to visit these sites and I had to learn Chinese, I would have enrolled into a university that teaches in Chinese. But this is one excuse that I've been listening to for the rest of my stay in this university. You can't do these programs because they're taught in Chinese. You can do internship because most of the people there, they can't translate for you. I'm like, why the hell would you open a freaking university if you cannot give a provision for international students to do internship? If I were to tell you the problems that I experienced in this university or life as an abroad student, please leave a comment down below and I'll make a full separate video. So me thinking about all this in mind, it came to my graduation. I'm like, this is finally an opportunity that I'm going to get where I can construct a project from start to finish. Because for the past 3 years, I've been feeling like even if I am to construct a road, it might never dry in 10 years. You'll be working on you literally have to use a boat to use most of the roads that we might construct. That was the thought that was at the back of my mind, and a friend would usually say this every single time. It's like, imanga maya ku Zambia, matamakange fe misebushita kome. But thinking about it, it would be the case. It would literally be the case, because at the back of your mind, you're like, even what I'm learning in class right now, am I ever going to put it into practice? Because I feel like I only have fragments and fragments of knowledge. But how do I bring this knowledge and concept together? Like, how does it work? Like, what am I supposed to do as a civil engineer? Because up to now, I still feel like I don't understand what a civil engineer is supposed to do. Because most of the times when you speak of civil engineers, other people quickly reached into shovels, like you're supposed to do shovels, like those general workers. But then that's not the thing of a civil engineer is supposed to do. This university is supposed to define what job you're supposed to do as a civil engineer in a company, and how you're supposed to treat the sites, and how you're supposed to relate to people. But then that wasn't the case. So I'm like, finally, my graduation design, I'm going to be able to construct a building from start to finish. And we were assigned supervisors. Happiest moment turned into the saddest moment of my life. So we just from having this class where they're distributing supervisors and they're telling us, oh, this person is going to be your supervisor, so you're supposed to contact your supervisor. And I was excited. I was given a woman. I'm like, yes. So babe, my romantic fantasy turned into a nightmare. So I went to see my supervisor. I went into our office. I was so excited and I was aiming to impress. Like, if this was going to be our first encounter, I'm going to make sure that I leave a name like this is me. I've been here. So I walked into my supervisor's office and I said, hi, I was told you're my supervisor. She put out a phone and she had to translate the response. If someone cannot understand a simple greeting and a simple conversation, imagine when you will be asking complex questions when it comes to your graduation design. There and then, I saw how my entire graduation process was going to play out. And it was sad. It was very sad. We started our graduation design and struck. And everything just changed, as if this wasn't enough. And one scheme that our supervisors did is they'll give your project to an equivalent Chinese student, so that every time you try to ask them a question, they'll just refer you to them. Like, I have a problem in this and this and this, and they'll be like, contact him. No, I've already given your project to this and such a person, so every time you have something, just go to him. But then this is a fellow student. This isn't teacher at all. Like, this is a fellow student. So if they have a problem, I have a problem, who do we contact? So now we started our online graduation and we're supposed to be doing architecture drawing, and we were given a timetable saying after such and such a week you're supposed to have finished this, after such and such a week you're supposed to have completed this. And I would contact my supervisor. I'd be like, so Lashi, like, what am I supposed to do now? Am I supposed to do these architecture drawings because they're saying that we're supposed to have submitted them by this week? And she'll be, no, Lashi, but screenshot, send. This is what the timetable says. Yes. Yes, what? Like, Yes, what? How can you just say no and yes and you expect me to? I've asked you, am I supposed to do this? I was like, you know what? I'm done with you. And that was around the time I was starting my YouTube career. And then our government decided to send us a present, which was the mass. My YouTube career boomed. So if you haven't seen the $10,000 government project, you should definitely check it out. And then that was a time when we had started also learning the YJK software. And she would literally be texting me the same thing. How far with your graduation design? How far with your graduation design? How far with your graduation design? I'm like, woman, first of all, when I ask you a question, you don't give me a genuine response. Second of all, you're referring me to a fellow student. How do you expect me to do something when I tell you, what am I supposed to do now? You're my supervisor. You're supposed to be giving me guidelines to what I'm supposed to do next. At least you tell me, go research on this. Like this is the assignment I've given you. Go research on this. This is what you're supposed to do now. You just don't expect to drop documents there and then, and all of a sudden everything is just going to work out. Like, I stopped replying to her. We're learning this software that is apparently supposed to help us with our graduation calculation and all this. Using this same software, we start experiencing what we've been experiencing in the past 4 years now. Laoshi, why is it that this software, most of the commands are in Chinese? How are we going to use this software maybe for future purposes, or maybe how are we going to do our assignment, because this is like based on our graduation? Like, how are we going to follow this? And the response he gives me is, just do what I do. Like, if I click button 1 2 3 4 5, click button 1 2 3 4 5. Or you're supposed to learn a little bit of Chinese. I'm like, what the Fanta French fries? Mother of inner peace. If I wanted to learn Chinese, I would have enrolled in a university that taught in Chinese. I'm an international student in a university that supposedly claimed to teach in English, and I missed out on internship because they said learn Chinese. I missed out on very important classes because my lectures were giving me Chinglish. It was 60% of Chinese and 40% of English. And now I'm doing my graduation design and you're telling me I'm supposed to learn a little bit of Chinese for me to complete my graduation design. Quick tip. If you are applying to any university and their first language is not English, and you want to get the best of that university, you must learn in their language. Otherwise, your graduation, your course, your years, you feel like you would have wasted them. If I was to tell you which university would I have preferred to go to, whether back home or stay in this university, I would have straight away gone back home. That's how I spent the first 2 years thinking is, why did I even come here? I could have stayed. I had good grades. I could have gone at any university in my country. It was very depressing, it was very irritating, and it was very overwhelming. Most of the classes, when we're having online classes in Zoom of the same way JK software design, I would just sign in and not be editing my videos. One thing that you need to understand is, just because you don't put an effort in doing something doesn't mean you won't eventually have to do it. This is one thing that you need to understand. No matter how difficult you doing something might seem to be in the moment, but you can't escape it. Like, whether I'd started doing my graduation then, whether I'm going to start doing my graduation design now, I was still going to do it. And that's something that I had to convince myself into. Is like, regardless of how unhelpful your supervisor might seem to be in this moment, you are eventually going to have to do this. Like, you got no choice. You still have to graduate. Like, you still have to finish this design. I reached out to this Chinese student who was given the same assignment as mine, and I was like, dude, every time that I'm asking my supervisor, so she's always referring me to you. So what are we supposed to do right now? And he sent me some document of some architectural drawings. He sent me drawings, and I opened the drawings and I looked at them. These were designs and plans of an office building. Dude, are you aware my supervisor told me that they gave us the same assignment, and our assignment is a residential building? Why the hell are you sending me office building plans? I was like, you know what? I'm done with the both of you. What I'm going to do is, you've sent me office building plans. I'm going to do my design as an office building. And I switched the name that she had written on the first document she sent me as residential building in something Beijing, and I switched to office building. I was like, whatever you're going to tell me is, you trusted this person so much that every time I ask him a question, he would be of assistance to me. And for the fact that he sent me these office building plans, I'm going to design my graduation design as an office building. And I started there off. I did a few modifications here and there, just copy and pasted and then I had to redesign my side view, I had to redesign my back view. I had to just import it into the software, and the software would do its own calculations. Now, turns out even the software needs to be in Chinese to function. You need to convert your entire PC into region China, then change the software name Chinese so that it just functions. It might sound like it's an exaggeration, but then I wish it was, but it's not. I got my assignment halfway done, unable to produce a calculation report. I had to export it to a flash drive. Then I took it to someone's PC who had set up everything in Chinese, put it in there, produced the calculation report, produced the architectural drawings. I sent it to my supervisor. She's like, I'm done with my architecture drawing and my YJK assignment. She's like, send me the report. So I'm like, what next should I do? What next? Nothing. What next? Nothing. Yesterday and this morning I texted her, woman, what next am I supposed to do right now? Because I feel like blank. I'm wasting days and I only have 2 weeks. Nothing. I haven't gotten a response. I haven't gotten anything at all. So I reached out to my friends. I'm like, what are you guys doing now? Our supervisors of centers were supposed to be doing quantity analysis, something that has to do with quantity analysis. Don't be surprised when people come to China and they go back home with British accents. When you're in China, your intentions are to learn, but then when you look at the environment that you've been placed in and how the lecturers are treating their classes and the communication barrier that exists between you and your teachers, the best thing that people just switch to is teaching. You come to China to become a student and you end up becoming a teacher of English, so you need to perfect those words and L's and R's, and so that you just sound that crisp, so that every time somebody talks to you, you're gonna be like, hey mate, how's the weather? I don't understand the logic behind us. That is how people are going to be coming out in China. And it's pretty amazing here. You literally get paid just for teaching students from 15,000 to 20,000 RMB. So now, where am I? Right now, I submitted the calculation report for an office building when I'm supposed to be doing a residential building. And my supervisor hasn't given me a feedback yet. These things are supposed to be submitted on the 1st of June. And we're having our graduation on the 9th. This is where we're going to start doing our defense, and going through such would depress a person. But what can you do? You're here. You just have to make the best of it. For most of the people who might be going through the same thing or will be going through the same thing, one thing that you need to understand is just make the best of it. If you have an opportunity to leave the environment that you're in, then leave, but make the best of it. When you're put in that place, you're put in that place for a reason. I don't believe there's such a thing as an accident.
There are no accidents.
It was quite funny when most of my friends saw my name on the people who had not submitted or were not communicating or had not done anything with a graduation design. They saw my name, then they're like, how come the best student in class is... I'm like, you just don't know what I'm going through. What does this video teach you? Because I feel like it's more of a depressing side. What should it teach you? A little bit of effort, put yourself in the right environment, people who are going in the same direction as you, because when you do reach a point where I was at, you do need people around you to keep you going. If you're not self-motivated, if you're not a person who can be self-motivated, you do need to place yourself in a community. Just because something doesn't seem like it's going to work out doesn't mean you can't make the best of it. Take as much personal time as you need. Reflect on yourself, and don't get caught up in the pressure that goes on around you. My friends have reached at this level. My friends have... Just take your personal time. Rebuild yourself, remotivate yourself, repurpose yourself. There's more to life than school. Replenish yourself, revalue yourself, and keep going. I'm gonna end this video saying my next video is gonna be more on a happy side. I don't know why my nose is so itchy.
Itchy nose.
But it's going to be a debut to my sister. I love this girl. She's one person who pushes me to work hard, and it's one person whom I hope to set an example for. And that is why, you know what, let me not ruin this video for you. Just subscribe so that you don't miss out. Just to remind her that you don't need people's approval to be your best. Damn, I think I just spoiled the video. Scratch that. I hope you liked it. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. I don't mind, just simply means you saw it. And yeah, your story might be different from my story, but then this is, whether I like it or not, I'm still going to graduate and I'm going to do my best. I will show you how my graduation is going to be like. I will show you how my defense is going to be like. I will definitely show you how my next university is going to be like, and if I don't get into university, I will show you how my place is going to be like. Thank you for giving me time, and thank you for having time to have watched this video till the end. So subscribe, leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. We dance.